Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Let's start off with Nicole and EJ because up until this point, I feel bad for Nicole. I feel bad for Nicole. Now, granted, I heard Nicole back in the day. I mean, she was on Sammy's level as far as playing games and schemes and just being villainous. Okay. So I can't attest to that, and I was you know also didn't watch that stuff. I also didn't watch her stuff back then, so I can't attest to that. You know, it's like me sitting there trying to say that I feel bad for Asa Buchanan on One Life to Live. Now, granted, Asa back in the day was kind of a beast and a villain and this, that, and the third, and he always walked the line between good guy and bad guy. And I know that One Life to Live isn't on anymore, but like that's, I guess, my point of reference to what I'm sitting there saying as far as like me feeling bad for Nicole today. And EJ, uh, don't get me wrong, EJ is still one of my favorite characters besides Steve. But what he did today was just like, damn, bro. Like, come on, bro. You out there representing the male species, and you literally came in there after she just said, "I am not going to be anyone's consolation prize." Because she came, when he came in there, she was pissed. She was like, "You made me look like a fool in front of her, and you chose her, and you didn't sit there and say anything to me." Now, when EJ, he apologized for it for what he did. Like, I'm sorry for hurting you and this, that, and third. And, forgive me. I was like, you know what? That almost actually seems, that actually seems sincere. I was like, okay. He was like, I hope you can find in your heart to forgive me. And she's like, yeah, well, that was nice and I appreciate that. But, like, right now, I'm still pissed off at you. Now, any respectful person would have been like, okay, listen, you forgive me on your own time when you're ready, if you're ready. But I just want to sit there and come and say that and clear the air and then walk out. That's what a respectful person would do. EJ, on the other hand, actually came out of his mouth because when I was sitting there writing my notes, he was like, "Well, the thing about Samantha leaving is that it made me see things clear." And I'm right, and I'm slow down right. I was like, "EJ, what? No, don't, please, don't tell me that you're about. No, don't do it, don't do it." He was like, "It made me see who I wanted clearly now. It made me see that that I wanted you." And I'm like, "Mother, bro, are you kidding?" I'm like, I was like, at this point, you are spiraling. Okay, you are spiraling. First, he found out that Sammy left with Lucas. So he's mad about that. He lost his company. He lost his girl. Um, and after Nicole was like, I don't want to be a consolation prize, he's just like, yeah, that's cool, but I still kind of want you as my backup. So you're not a consolation prize, you're my backup plan. That sounds a lot nicer when I say it that way, right? That's literally what he just did. I was like, bro, are you kidding me? So yeah, that was and then she again I felt bad for her because she was like, I'm tired of people always in there, not really choosing me first and just choosing me as some sort of backup plan, pretty much. Like, she talked about with Eric, and then she talked about with Rafe, and then she talked about it with EJ. Now, granted, let's be very clear. When Nicole was not there talking about Eric, I was like, sweetheart, you're not there saying that he chose God over you. Um, you chose to lie to him for months, and when he got back, you didn't say a damn thing. So I'm sorry, we're gonna have to sit there and just scratch the whole, Eric part. Now, EJ, people did warn you. A lot of people want you. Rafe wants you. And the only reason why you actually decide to go, go at it with EJ was one, because you want to get over Rafe. And two, hey, you know what? If I get to pay back Sammy, cool. So you can't really sit there and say, "Oh, well, you chose Sammy over me." I'm like, well, you only went out with him to forget about Rafe. So that's two. Now I'm sitting there thinking about that. I was like, I don't know exactly how bad I actually feel for Nicole. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there saying like, it sucks like that she's going through all this stuff like with Eric. Um, in regards, she did that to herself, and with EJ, once again, she did that to herself. But nonetheless, the hurt is, the pain is still there, and it still sucks. So, you know, there's a much smaller portion of me now. I'm thinking about it that feels bad for her. But to be honest, you did that to yourself. And with Rafe, I honestly tell you the truth, I don't even remember. Oh, you actually no. I don't even feel bad about her with the whole Rafe situation. Yeah, he's with Ava, but you decided. Well, I mean, you had sex with him on the conference table. And it's not like he came back to you with confirmation that, oh yeah, by the way, me and Ava were done. So we just kind of slide over this stuff, tables, pencils, laptops. Let's just slide this over, and now we can sit there and do, conference table sex with, clear conscience. That's not exactly what happened. So, you know, yeah. Eating chat. It is weird the last time we were gonna sit there and see them for a little bit. But I guess it gives them time to kind of just take a break, maybe do some other projects or whatever. Cole, I don't know what the hell she's gonna do. Oh, Rafe knew better. And for a rude awakening. I feel like that's about it. Just an insecure little girl. Like, what are we doing? I'm not saying that all the women characters gotta be strong, but damn, girl, like, really? It just pissed me off. And I was at a point where it's just like, I didn't care. Like, I felt like they didn't care, so why the hell should I care if they don't care? I feel like that's about it. Still this whole kick about Sammy and cutting up bears, and I'm like, alright, I mean, you're not exactly Mrs. Perfect either, but just grasping at straws at this point. I feel like that's about it. Well, I feel like that's about it, more or less. It's so weird. This episode seemed like it lasted forever. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was definitely interesting. But I feel like not a lot actually happened. And it would have been more compelling if that fantasy that Ava had, with the cake scene was real and not like a dream. But I felt like that was just too good to be true. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's gonna do it. If I left anything out, let me know. I'm so used to saying that. I gotta kind of break the habit of that. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.